Hello everybody, welcome back to the Lost Mine Pokemon Trading Card Game channel. It is I, Landen back with another post-rotation deck profile. Today I'm showing off good old powerful hand Alakazam, one of the most powerful one-prize archetypes in the post-rotation format, since a silly little card called Iono rotates, kind of stopping the main weakness that this deck had pre-rotation, and it also replaces some of the powerhouse decks like Goldango, maybe something like, I guess, Ceruledge? I don't know. But mostly Goldango. And it's a one-price deck. So expect to see a lot of this. We're going to start it off with 4 copies of Abra, 4 copies of Kadabra, and 3 copies of Alakazam. The Abra has a decent attack, teleportation attack, 10 switch to the bench, so you can preserve attachments, protect your Abras. 50 HP is pretty bad, though. Kadabra, when it evolves, it has the ability Psychic Draw. When it evolves from an Abra, you draw 2 cards, and then it does 1 for 30, which can kill like Budews, I guess. But your main attacker is this 140 HP Psychic Draw. When you evolve it from a Kadabra, you draw 3 cards, and then for 1 Psychic, we do 2 damage counters on your opponent's active for each card in your hand. So this can be hitting absolutely anything for knockout in the standard format. I think the most HP you'd ever encounter would be like 340 on a Mega Lucario, and then you would need 17 cards in hand, which sounds like a lot, but literally like the only hand disruption people are actively playing is Unfair Stamp, and we have a way to get around that in this deck. And then you may run into the Odd Judge, but that doesn't look to be super popular. I mean, there's Harlequin as well, but at most you're getting hand disrupted like once or twice a game, whereas opposed to pre-rotation, it could be like people play four copies of Iono in their deck, so they could go knockout Iono, knockout Iono, knockout Iono, and you'd really struggle to return KO, but that is no longer an option for opponents. So with that being said, like, powerful hand can just do a lot of damage and keep doing a lot of damage. And then not only does it draw cards itself, but we do play 4 of the runaway draw to Dunsparce here. 7 HP, Dunsparce has basically the same attack as the Abra. Trading places switch to the bench, doesn't do damage though. And then runaway draw, once during your turn, you may draw 3 cards. If you draw any cards in this way, shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it back into your deck. So you shuffle back the Dunsparce line after you draw 3 cards. You can see how this is going to draw us a million cards. This is also infinite deck because you shuffle it back in after you draw, and we can just accumulate huge hands, keep poffering out our Dunsparces. We have like Hildas, Pokepads to keep this going, and then we just fill up our hand, and we do a bunch of damage with Alakazam. Next up, one of this deck's biggest weaknesses, we even saw one of the decks at the Champions League play 2 copies of just Team Rocket's Articuno to wall out Alakazam, because notably this is an effective attack, so we have to watch out for the new Fighting Energy and the Mist Energy. But the Dunsparce has the attack Destructive Drill, which does 150 for 3 energy, and then goes through all effects on your opponent's active. So this can hit through the Articuno, this can hit through Crustle with a Mist Energy, it can hit through anything with a Mist Energy, it can hit through the Fighting Energy as well. And then Tenacious Tail, its first attack, does 60 for each of your opponent's Pokemon EX in play. That can be pretty handy. Like, if they have 4 EXs, this is just boss killing a Fez for 1 energy, regardless of the cards in your hand. So this can be a pretty low maintenance attacker. You're always just going to have the Dunsparces in play, so it's pretty easy just to put down. But this will save you in situations where your opponent's playing the Articuno to tech for you, which is not super unfeasible because this deck is fantastic, and the Articuno can just actually hard wall you, which is pretty silly. The only other option you have to attack in this deck is the Fan Rotom with Fan Call Assault Landing. This is just going to get us 3 Dunsparce turn 1, and then we do play a pretty heavy stadium count in this deck, so 70 damage with Assault Landing is no joke. We have the Genesect with Ace Nullifier. This is the card I was talking about that gets around the Unfair Stamp. Unfair Stamp is by far and away the most popular A-Spec post-rotation as of right now. This completely shuts it off. So against most decks, when they play Unfair Stamp, they don't play another way to hand disrupt you. So this can be just shutting off their only hand disruption, and then we just one shot with Alakazam, which is really powerful. Like, I'm not kidding when I think that I could say like Alakazam is like A or maybe even S tier in that post-rotation format. Last card we have here is Psyduck. We were playing a Shaman for a little while, but we have since cut that. There's not a whole lot of actual dispense sniping, but turning off Dusknoir is really important. Poltnoir looking to be one of the more popular decks, and one of the only decks that could really give this a hard time. Next up for supporters, we have 4 Hilda, 3 Dawn, 3 Boss, 1 Lana's Aid. Hilda is our main, Hilda and Dawn is our main setup engine. We were playing the Enriching Energy, so Hilda can go and get either Arcadabra, Alakazam, Dunsparce or Dunsparce EX, and then either the energy we need to attack or the energy we need, like the enriching energy, to keep drawing 4 cards. Enriching also really works well with the Dunsparce because every time you attach it to a Dunsparce, you can shuffle it back to the deck, and then the next turn you can keep drawing 4 cards every turn with the attachment. Dawn gets a stage 1, a stage 2, and a basic, so you can go get like your Abra, your Dunsparce for next turn, get your Alakazam and your Dunsparce and your Kadabra. This card can read like draw 6, and then get 3 Pokemon a lot of the time. 3 boss, we are ultimately still going to be like looking to do a 2/2/2 prize map a lot of the time, maybe like a 3/2/1 or something like that. We draw a lot of cards. We don't quite need the 4 boss. I could see maybe going down to 2 because you're so easily able to clear the active, but I do like being able to like consistently boss Fez, find this off of like stamps or judges, that kind of thing. I do like the 3 boss. And then Lana's Aid, we do lose Super Rod. This is one of the better like recovery cards. You're also really interested in cards that like just plus cards to your hand instead of like shuffle draw effects. So Lana's Aid can just be like a +2 to hand and replaces itself. So we are playing it. Next up, we have 4 Buddy Buddy Puffin, 4 Pokepad, and 3 Rare Candy. 4 Buddy Buddy Puffin, 4 Pokepad. Pokepad is great in this deck. It gets our entire Abra line, gets to Dunsparce, which is like the biggest thing this deck was missing. Pre-rotation was easy ways to find your Dunsparces. And then Puffin gets Dunsparce Abra, which is fantastic. Mid-game Puffins are great to replace your Dunsparces when you shuffle them back in. 3 Rare Candy really enables our turn to attack. Also, Candy into Alakazam is drawing you more cards than a Kadabra would, so sometimes if you want to dig deeper, you can go for that. Next up, for the smaller amounts of items, we have 2 Enhanced Hammer. This is very important in this deck. Mist Energy shuts you down. The new Fighting Energy shuts you down. Playing 2 of these, most of those decks will only really play 2. Maybe Garchomp can be playing 4 of the Fighting Energy, but I don't really know any decks that play more than 2 Mist Energy, so you draw a lot of cards. You're usually able to find this easier than your opponent's able to find their mists, so you should be able to get through Mist Energies with the combination of the Dunsparce EX and the double E-Hammer. Wondrous Patch. This allows you to float an attachment to use the enriching energy a little more often. Sometimes you can be stuck because you do need to attach for turn to attack, so if they're like killing your Alakazam and you don't have an energy in play, this lets you go attach Psychic Energy, still use enriching, or maybe even get ahead on attachments so you can enriching energy later. It's quite important. I think this is definitely better than just playing another Psychic Energy. 1 Sacred Ash, like I said, Super Rod is gone, so this is next spec's thing. Shuffle back 5, up to 5 Pokemon from discard pile into deck. This can be pretty powerful, like getting back like a whole bunch of your Alakazam line, recycling Psyduck, getting back some Dunsparces. This is really powerful. You do need to play it. You do have the 2 recovery options. Next up, we do need tools for Genesect. We are playing 2 copies of Air Balloon, pretty self-explanatory. The only thing that we are playing left for trainers here is 3 copies of Battle Cage. This is really important for us to combat the likes of like Grimmsnarl and Dragapult. These spreading decks can really give us a hard time. This stops monkey damage. This stops Pulse attack. It stops Frostlass. It does not stop things like Greninja EX or Starmie because it doesn't stop damage. It stops only counters. So we are still kind of vulnerable to different kinds of snipe decks, but the most popular ones we're covered against with the Battle Cage. Then for energy, we're playing 3 of this new Psychic Energy. I don't know the exact name of the Psychic, but it's really, really good. Whenever you attach this energy to a Psychic Pokemon, it provides Psychic Energy, and you search for 2 Psychics, put them onto your bench. So if you have an Abra in play, you attach here, you can just go get 2 more Abras. So this is like a Puffin on an attachment, which is insane. This also does still count for Psychic Energy on non-Psychic types. So we could, for instance, attach it to Fanrotom, Dunsparce, or to Dunsparce EX. Next up, we have 2 basic Psychic Energies, still important to recycle with Lana's Aid. We need more than just 3 of these special energies. We do need at least 5 Psychic attachments. Being able to get this back with Lana's Aid is very important. Also not enhanced honorable. And then we have 1 copy of Enriching Energy for the A-Spec. This built to Dunsparce is like research at home. We attach draw 4, shuffle back, draw 3, plus 7 cards to hand is nuts. Being able to reuse enriching over and over and over again with the Dunsparce is fantastic as well. Really helps us enable these high damage turns with powerful hand. That being said, this is the Alakazam deck in the post-rotation format. I think, like I said, this deck is going to be very, very powerful. Probably one of, if not the best, 1 prize deck. It's just a beat stick. It only gives up 1 prize. You never are forced to put an EX into play because the Dunsparce is a stage 1. You could think about maybe playing Fez, but this deck just draws so many cards without Fez, you don't think you really need it, and the 2 prize liability is pretty brutal. Thanks so much for watching. Please give us a comment, a like, subscribe. Look out for more deck profiles from us in this post-rotation format. We're going to be dropping them until rotation hits, and we're also going to have gameplay with this Alakazam deck as well. Check myself out on Twitter. The channel has a Twitter, Lucas has a Twitter, and I coach on Medify. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.